Another reaction video. You know, y'all gotta see the Nike sign. See, I see that Nike sign. Yeah, we getting it, getting that chicken right now, man. But this video gonna be a little different. It's actually a documentary about the murder castle. So yeah, America's first serial killer. Let's watch.
Torture chambers, secret passageways, vats of acid, and
Wow.
deadly vaults. In 1895, Chicago police unearthed horrific evidence of torture and multiple murders at the sprawling castle of H.H. Holmes.
That boy H.H. Holmes is really getting
masquerading
him. Like,
under the
hold
guise
on,
of
can you
caring
pause it?
doctor, kind husband,
you can't even
and
pause it.
prominent businessman. H.H.
Man,
Holmes
this guy
was a
H.H.
contemporary
Holmes
monster,
killed like over 200
designing
people.
his buildings solely for the disposal of human bodies. Torture doctor, monster of 63rd Street.
We not from
H.H. Holmes
63rd.
was America's first serial killer.
Oh man, let me stop playing. Because this really happened, man. It's
Just
crazy.
south of Chicago, the suburb of Inglewood was thriving with commerce. The train station itself had 9 leading
Another
lines
thing
of
that I
railway
actually
and over
just
100
learned,
trains stopping
somebody
there
just
every
told
day.
me that American
No
Horror
other
Story
suburb of Chicago had this luxury.
hotel was based off of this.
Dr. Henry Howard Holmes.
The hotel.
Pleasure to meet
This
you.
was like, you know, because American
Arriving
Horror
in
Story is based
Chicago,
off of like
Holmes
real
finds
stuff,
work
like actual
immediately at
events
the
that
E.S.
happened.
Holton drugstore, located
It is
at the
actually
southeast
happened.
corner of 63rd and Wallace in Inglewood.
And this was on
Several
63rd
months
in
later,
Chicago. What?
Everett
This is crazy.
Holton
This is
dies
what
of
King Von was
supposed
rapping about.
natural causes. Then Claire
63rd,
Holton, his
we're
wife,
not from there.
disappears after selling
Murder
the
Castle
drugstore
Street.
to Holmes. Owning the drugstore, Holmes had a steady flow of cash. He would often purchase and resell goods and properties under his numerous aliases. In addition to scamming creditors, Holmes obtained his funds from other phony inventions, such as a mineral water elixir, which in reality
Wow.
was obtained from the
This
city's
boy-
water supply.
Was Zephyr Hills before Zephyr Hills?
1888, Holmes secures a lease on the vacant property across the street from the drugstore, the southwest corner of 63rd and Wallace. It is here that Holmes will make his horrific dreams come true. He will construct a building for which the entire world
Tripping.
will remember him.
Tripping.
Fantasies start very young. And so what he did then was he took a step furtherance of his fantasies to make it reality. And probably if we had done a little bit of investigation back then, we would have seen things like his plans, but not just plans for a building, because we'd expect to see architectural plans, but plans for his torture rooms.
For the suburb of Englewood, the building Holmes is erecting at 63rd and Wallace is a massive construction project. Day after day, passers-by stop to gaze at the spectacle of the many laborers working together to create a magnificent new edifice in their neighborhood. Englewood residents were so impressed with the massive building that they named it the Castle.
The murder castle.
From its outward appearance, it seemed rather normal. But like the duality of Holmes, the exterior and interior of the building were extremely different.
Holmes himself was the architect of the building. He was the only one who knew its design. There was this constant turnover of workers on the building. He would hire a mason to put in a wall and then fire the guy, or hire somebody to put in part of a staircase and then fire him. And there seems to be several very sinister reasons behind that. One was he managed not to pay a lot of these people because he was always claiming that they were doing incompetent work. But the other, much more insidious reason was that no one except him really had a clear idea of what the structure
Right,
of
that's
his
wild.
house was.
He's like,
He had a huge bank vault installed in one of the rooms. And the way he did it was he put the vault in first while the building was under construction, and then built the room around it. And he bought this thing on credit and then refused to pay for it. The bank company said they were going to repossess the vault. Holmes said, well, you know, come on in and do, but if you damage my building in any way, I'll sue you for everything you're worth.
Bro.
The bottom floor of the castle housed a pharmacy,
man, H.H.
jewelry
Holmes
store,
was a
barbershop,
scammer.
restaurant, and a blacksmith shop. Behind this innocent facade
How you
was a
scam a
gothic
whole
house
vault?
of horrors
Like,
designed
what?
by the mind of a monster.
What is this?
The third floor seemed innocent enough, containing rented rooms, legitimate offices, and Holmes's own bedroom. But it was the second floor that contained 35 rooms, many specifically designed as killing chambers.
Oh yeah, this man had trap doors and everything. I mean, you already saw the trap door.
Disorienting unsuspecting victims, the labyrinthian construction contained numerous staircases and doorways that led nowhere.
Bro. And then he done for it.
For a quick method of hiding a victim's body, a concealed greased chute and trapdoor led directly into the basement of the castle.
So is this where he put the bodies? It's so crazy. This man took off a piece of the wall.
The basement held the most terrifying rooms, resembling a medieval torture dungeon. Acid vats, quicklime pits, and a crematorium disguised as a glass-bending furnace were Holmes's favorite methods of immediate body disposal.
This is so crazy. Like, bro, what is, like, how sick of a person do you have to be? Well, you gotta keep that thing on you, man. Gotta keep that thing on you. Ah, he cutting up the bodies? Oh. This was way before Dahmer and all that.
After cleaning and mounting their bones, Holmes would profit from his victims by selling their skeletons to local medical
What?
schools and universities.
Bruh, this man Holmes
Holmes
was
would make a
getting that
killing in
bag. I'm trying to
Chicago,
tell y'all, bruh.
financially
Like, what?
and literally.
You know how much a skeleton costs? Just look it up. And these real skeletons that he's selling, and it's back in the day, like, bro. On top of all the other scamming you done did, let's get into that bag.
May 1st, 1893, the world's Columbian Exposition is open to the public in Chicago.
I love
Spanning
Chicago.
600
I gotta go
acres,
back.
sprawled out along beautiful
Man,
Lake
it's like-
Michigan,
it's just
the
super
magnificent
nice
fair
over there.
is a monumental sight to behold. Over 20 million people from around the world would attend the dazzling World's Fair between May 1st and October 30th, 1893. Holmes utilizes the World's Fair as the perfect opportunity to capitalize on his demented design of the castle. Located only a few miles from the World's Fair, Holmes's castle was perfect lodging for tourists. Holmes decides to rent rooms to visitors of the fair. He entirely renovates the upper floors of the castle, bringing in the most modern furnishings and luxuries, all purchased on credit, which Holmes had no intention of repaying. In addition to placing newspaper ads for rooms to rent, Holmes visited the fair with several of Benjamin Peitzel's children, preying on elderly women who flaunted their wealth, making sure he invited them back to the castle for a warm night's stay in a soft bed.
They're not calling their relatives, telling them where they're at. They just know that they're going to Chicago to see the Columbian Exposition. Perfect victims, because they're unknown in the city. Their relatives, wherever they came from, know that they were coming to Chicago.
That is
And
crazy. This man
never came back.
literally thought about everything.
How do you start to find them? They don't even know where they stayed. Perfect, easy victims. I'm sure some of them got in and out of his place with no problem. And others, they walked in and they never checked out.
Okay, so it wasn't just
Some of
everybody
the
that
rooms
went.
had been completely
died.
made with asbestos to make them soundproof.
Hidden in Holmes's office was a master control panel which connected to gas lines leading into airtight
That's
sleeping
crazy.
chambers.
It's like some Nazi stuff.
Holmes would lead his victims into the rooms, lock them in, and turn
Gas.
on the gas, asphyxiating them while watching their demise.
That was the part in the game when she got stuck in a room. It was just like a bunch of like. Y'all remember? Y'all gotta rewatch that video. It was I think it
At
was
the
part
height of
2.
the World's Fair, Holmes masterfully
Devil in Me
juggles
Part
his
2. Y'all
castle
gotta watch
businesses, renting rooms, dodging creditors, selling skeletons, and attending to the needs of the many women in his life.
And y'all gotta stop playing too, man. Subscribe to my channel.
I have had
bro.
many
Like,
young ladies in my employ,
all y'all gotta do-
most
all
of
y'all gotta
whom
do
are
is
still
one-
living in and
hit
about
one
Chicago,
button, like, and it's
whose
free.
parents and friends know only
Like, I'll
too
be
well
tripping.
that far from being their seducer, I have done much to materially help them in
Yeah,
their
like I'm asking y'all for
lives.
$20.
Being a personable,
subscribe to my
attractive
YouTube
young
channel.
doctor
This is
and
free.
businessman, Holmes won the hearts of many women throughout his life. At one point, Holmes managed to secretly have 3 wives, each never knowing of the others. In 1890, Julia Connor became Holmes's employee and mistress, living at the castle with her daughter Pearl. When she became pregnant and demanded marriage, Holmes agreed on the condition that she allowed him to perform an abortion on her. She agreed. Neither Julia nor her daughter Pearl
Ooh.
were ever seen again. Just a week later, Holmes sold a clean, articulated skeleton to the Hahnemann Medical College for nearly $200.
That is crazy.
In 1892, Holmes acquired
Bro,
another
your
mistress, Emmeline
your pregnant
Segran,
mistress,
and employed her as
your
private
future
secretary.
child, you done sold
Holmes
it.
sent Emmeline into the vault to
stack.
retrieve some papers
$200.
and sealed it,
That's crazy.
suffocating her to death. Several weeks later, the University of Chicago acquired a female skeleton from Dr. Holmes. In 1893, Minnie Williams became Holmes's new private secretary and eventually his mistress. Minnie was the beneficiary of a property in Fort Worth, Texas, valued at over $40,000. Holmes murdered Minnie and her younger sister Nanny after having Minnie sign over the Fort
This
Worth
man
property.
was finessing. My guy was
In 1894,
professional
Georgiana
finesser.
Young became Holmes's 3rd wife. He married her
That's so
under the
bad.
name Henry Mansfield Howard. Like his other legitimate wives, Georgiana lived out
she the
her
only one that
entire
lived.
life.
That is crazy.
On July 19,
1895,
1895, Chicago police enter the Holmes castle. The world
Yeah.
would now learn of the horrors that the castle had kept secret for so very long. As disoriented detectives and police searched the upper floors of the castle, the true depths of Holmes's
Man, this is
evil
crazy,
were
man.
waiting in the basement.
I'ma pause it right here because this is just too much. And yeah, I gotta go night night. So please subscribe, okay? Like as well, okay? And as a reminder, it's free. Both of those things are free. All right, I'm not asking y'all to pay no money or do anything. Just use your thumb. You're gonna scroll anyway. You're gonna scroll past this video anyway. You're gonna scroll past my post. You're gonna hit another post. You might as well just click on the link and subscribe. Like, all right? Because when I make it, I'll make sure everybody make it. All right? But yeah, till next time.